Saving $100,000 ruined my mental health. I thought reaching that number would finally make me feel safe. Instead, I became afraid of losing it. My bank account looked healthier, but my mind felt worse. And if that sounds familiar, listen, that is not discipline, that is fear. Saving more will not fix it. I had to learn that spending money on purpose is not the same as losing it. I'm gonna show you the simple system that finally helped me spend without spiraling. But first, I'm gonna let you in and explain how I even got to this point. For years, I believed being extremely careful with money was financial discipline. And to be fair, that discipline changed my life. Being careful with money helped me pay off debt, save $100,000, and build a real financial foundation. But financial discipline becomes fear when every dollar turns into a test you're scared to fail. I had crossed that line without realizing it. Every expense needed a reason. Every purchase has to be productive. And if something was only meant to make me happy, I treated the purchase like a waste. For example, a $200 concert ticket became 10 hours of work in my head. A souvenir became money I should have left in savings. An unexpected expense became proof that I had failed to prepare. When your brain translates every purchase into lost security, you stop spending based on what matters to you, and you start spending based on what makes you feel least afraid. So if you recognize yourself in this pattern, you are not broke or irresponsible. You are just trying to protect yourself from ever feeling financially unsafe again. You can build a savings account and still lose your ability to enjoy the life those savings were supposed to support. If you think this fear means something is wrong with you, look at this. In FINRA's 2024 National Financial Capability Study, 63% of respondents said thinking about their personal finances makes them anxious. That is nearly 2 out of 3 people. So you're not the only person checking your account twice, replaying a purchase, or worrying that one mistake could undo everything you built. People post the vacation, but what they don't post is the guilt they feel after paying for it. When nearly 2 out of 3 people feel the same anxiety, you are not looking at a personal failure, you are looking at a pattern. And an unexpected expense is where that pattern becomes impossible to ignore. A trip to Hawaii showed me how much control money anxiety had over me. I don't travel often, so I was genuinely excited to be there with my friends. But the day after we picked up our rental car, a pebble hit the windshield while we were driving. The damage was so small that you could barely see it, so I assumed it would cost like $50 to repair. Then, the person we rented the car from quoted us $1,800, and that number took over the entire trip. I could afford the charge. The problem was not the money. The problem was knowing that something outside of my control could take $1,800 from me, and I could not stop blaming myself for it. From that moment on, every purchase felt irresponsible. If I looked at a souvenir, I thought about the windshield. If I wanted to buy something for myself, I felt guilty because in my head, the $1,800 was already gone. And the stress also changed how I showed up around my friends. I got quieter, I pulled away, I was physically in Hawaii, but mentally I was calculating how much money I might lose. A couple of weeks later, I contacted the rental company. They confirmed that we were being overcharged, so we did not have to pay the $1,800. But learning that I did not owe the money could not give me back the peace I had already lost. You can always budget carefully, save consistently, do everything right, and life can still hand you an expense you never planned for. The Federal Reserve found that even a relatively small unexpected expense can create hardship, especially for families without a financial cushion. In 2024, 63% of adults said they would cover a hypothetical $400 emergency using cash, savings, or a credit card paid off at the next statement. The other 37% would need to borrow, sell something, or might not be able to cover it at all. So if a surprise expense sends you into panic, you are not bad with money and you are not the only one. Unexpected expenses do not just change your bank balance, but they can make the safety you work so hard to build feel fragile. But fear is a reaction, it's not proof that you failed. Money guilt creates invisible rules about which expenses you are allowed to justify. Rent, bills, groceries, gas, and emergencies feel responsible. But the second money is supposed to make your life more enjoyable, you feel like you have to defend the purchase. A trip feels excessive, a concert feels unnecessary, a nice dinner becomes, I could have made food at home, a souvenir becomes, why do I even need this? No one told you that enjoying your money was irresponsible, but somewhere along the way, the only spending that started to feel safe was survival spending, the money you need for rent, bills, groceries, gas, and other basic living costs. And when basic necessities are the only expense you can justify, money guilt starts controlling your life. You work hard to build a better life, but when that life costs money, guilt tells you that enjoying what you built is irresponsible. To be clear, this is not permission to buy everything you want. Some purchases are not worth it, but there is a difference between asking, does this genuinely matter to me, and automatically deciding that anything enjoyable must be irresponsible. One question helps you spend with intention, the other keeps you afraid of your own money. Because if you only feel safe spending on necessities, even your savings can become a cage. Your money is supposed to protect your life, not stop you from living it. Earlier, I told you that saving more was not going to fix my money anxiety. What helped was drawing a clear line between protected money and spendable money. Protected money is money that already has a job. It covers your emergency fund, upcoming bills, debt payments, irregular expenses, and long-term savings goals. Spendable money is the amount you intentionally set aside after those responsibilities are covered. It can be used for dinners, trips, concerts, hobbies, or anything else that makes your life more enjoyable. Start with your emergency fund. The FDIC says the amount you need depends on your monthly expenses and the number of people in your household. A general goal is to save 3 to 6 months of expenses. To calculate 1 month, add your rent, utilities, groceries, insurance, transportation, and minimum debt payments. Multiply that number by 3 to create your first major emergency fund target. After you reach 3 months, you can continue building towards 6 months if that amount makes sense for your household. And if you do not have 3 months saved yet, do not let that number make you feel behind. Start with what you can save from your next paycheck. Build your first month before worrying about month 6. Starting matters more than having the perfect amount today. Next, give every savings goal a number and a deadline. If you need $3,000 to move in 12 months, save $250 each month. For yearly costs like car repairs or registration, add what you spent last year and divide it by 12. Save that amount every month. Your emergency fund is for real surprises. These smaller funds are for costs you know are coming. You don't need a new bank account for every goal. Imagine you have $6,000 in one high-yield savings account. Label $5,000 for emergencies, $500 for car repairs, and $500 for fun. You can create savings buckets or track the amounts in a simple note. The money stays in one account, but every dollar has a job. If you spend $200 on a concert, your fun money drops to $300, and your $5,000 emergency fund stays untouched. Now you can see that the concert did not take money away from your safety. At the beginning of each month, choose your fun money amount after your bills, debt payments, and savings are covered. When a purchase fits within that amount, it is part of your plan. Review the number once a month, not after every purchase. I personally keep my protected savings inside of a high-yield savings account with Marcus. This video is not sponsored and you don't need to use Marcus for the system to work, but when I first started saving, I wanted to know which tools people actually used, not just what they recommended. My link includes a special sign-up bonus. It is a referral link, so using it also helps support the channel at no extra cost to you. I also made another video breaking down exactly how I saved my first $100,000, separated my money, and approached paying off debt at the same time. You can watch that video next for the complete financial breakdown. For now, give the money protecting your future a clear job and give yourself a specific amount to enjoy today. One unexpected expense does not mean you failed. It means life happened. You can save carefully, plan every bill, and still get blindsided. If spending money makes you panic, saving more will not fix the fear. Every time your balance grows, your brain will create a new number you're afraid to lose. You will keep saving, but you will never feel safe enough to use the money. That is survival mode. The lesson is simple: set a finish line for the money protecting your future, then decide how much is safe to enjoy today. This is not financial advice, just my personal experience. Always do your own research. If you are ready to build the money that protects you, the Marcus account I personally use is linked down below. If you want to build wealth without letting money control your life, subscribe. I post new videos every single week. Your money can grow without your life getting smaller. I'm Erin. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, we can only go up from here.